Let's go over the future of the Star Wars franchise when it comes to President of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, the shape of the Star Wars community right now is not at its best. There's, in fact, a lot of backlash going against The Last Jedi, and looking at all of the results of the box office results, specifically for Solo: A Star Wars Story, not doing too well, by a mixture of The Last Jedi backlash, the Solo: A Star Wars Story boycott, and the fact that Disney lost quite a bit of money on that big project for the Han Solo movie. Now, looking at all of this, I want to get on the subject of Kathleen Kennedy and a couple of reasons why I think that she actually has to go as president of Lucasfilm. Now, before I get to this, I will say that I really do feel like Dave Filoni should take over once she either, if she does, in fact, get let go at some point in the future, if that ever happens, or B, if she retires. I think that Dave Filoni should absolutely step in as president and the boss of all things Star Wars and just running everything. Now, the first reason as to why I believe Kathleen Kennedy should go is because of how the firings of all the different writers and directors have taken place ever since, dating all the way back to The Force Awakens. Now, this happened continuously with The Force Awakens, Rogue One, The Last Jedi, and even Solo: A Star Wars Story. There's been a lot of different decisions that Kathleen Kennedy has made, and I think that one of the biggest ones was, of course, with Solo: A Star Wars Story. I feel that the Han Solo movie is a prime example of why I feel personally, I don't know if you guys either agree or disagree with me on this, which is perfectly fine and okay, whichever you guys have to say about this, but Kathleen Kennedy, I feel like that this is a prime example when it comes to the Han Solo movie of how you choose two directors, Lord and Miller, and just when you're about to wrap up, just when you're about to wrap filming, right? You're almost done with the movie, you're about to go into post-production, and then suddenly, well, those directors are now not the right choice. They're actually not fit for the role as, of course, leading the Solo: A Star Wars Story movie, and that's hence why they got fired, because Kathleen Kennedy wanted a different tone of it all. And I feel like that when it comes to all these movies, and we've seen this constantly ever since The Force Awakens, there's been so many firings, even with Star Wars Episode 9, and a lot of things with The Force Awakens when it came to some writers, I believe. It was a mess. I mean, even Rogue One, the whole reshoot situation as well, though it wasn't as bad as Solo: A Star Wars Story. I feel like that if you have a movie as big as Star Wars and you're president of Lucasfilm running all things Star Wars, right? This huge franchise that a lot of people just adore, a lot of people love, and really grew up with it, right? I feel like that you should really have a vision and have a real great sense as to exactly who you are choosing, and you should stick with who you are choosing right from the get-go and not change them right at the very end, because the same thing goes for Star Wars Episode 9 with Colin Trevorrow. I feel like that if he really wasn't the right choice, why was he chosen to begin with, and then just have J.J. Abrams come on board? I think it would have been more effective if J.J. had actually stepped on well before she even chose Colin Trevorrow for the part as director and writer of that movie. I feel like that the franchise would be a whole lot more healthier as well if the sequel trilogy had a plan right from the get-go for all three movies, where each writer and director is not coming up with their own thing. This way, the whole entire trilogy stays nice, and continuous, and the continuity just lines up, and everything just makes sense. Now, the other reason as to why I feel like Kathleen Kennedy should go is how she really does get into the creative side of things quite a bit. And this is a prime example when it comes to The Last Jedi and director and writer Rian Johnson. And back to Rian Johnson, there's a lot of trust issues with that director and writer, and I should say this, that I really did, in fact, disagree with a lot of the things that happened in The Last Jedi from Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, etc., and now Rian Johnson's getting a full trilogy based on The Last Jedi, which got a lot of backlash going against it, a lot of negativity, and I feel like that what if there's another situation where Rian Johnson is let go from this trilogy, and then another director comes on board, and then things have to essentially get redone once again. I feel like, we could see something around those lines if it really does come all down to that, because I feel like a lot of fans don't want to see Rian Johnson doing the new trilogy. The other reason is the agendas. Now, a lot of people, including myself, have noticed these agendas rolling in the Disney-era Star Wars movies ever since The Force Awakens, leading all the way into Solo, a Star Wars story. And I feel like that those just have to go, and I've actually gone over this quite a bit in my other past videos weeks ago. I just gotta say that I feel like I just want a Star Wars movie that's a fun ride, that doesn't need to have, agendas in it to send a message here and there. I just feel like that it should be done the way the prequels were made and the way that the original trilogy was made. So looking at Kathleen Kennedy, guys, I really feel, and I do cross my fingers, that things do get better as we move along past Star Wars Episode 9. We do have the Obi-Wan Kenobi movie in the works and the Boba Fett film. So let's hope those two movies are going to be very, very good. Now, looking at Star Wars Episode 9 specifically, that script is all finished. What's done is done, and whatever that story is going to be entirely, is set in stone now. I really can't see them doing, any major, script changes as of right now, because they are all set and ready to start filming in July. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this. Do you agree or disagree with my points on why I believe that Kathleen Kennedy should, either get fired or just, step down or just retire soon? She is up there in age as well, so I think it's about time. But those are my main reasons. The agendas need to go. The second reason is she shouldn't really get into the creative side of things too much like she has been, especially with The Last Jedi. And the other reason is try to stay, very sure of yourself as to who you're choosing of leading a Star Wars movie, whether it's a writer or a director, and just keep that writer or director from the beginning, because it costs a lot of money if you're just going to let them go and you have to redo either the script or you got to do massive reshoots like with the Solo, a Star Wars story movie. The Han Solo movie is a great example. It cost them a lot of money, and this all comes straight down to Kathleen Kennedy. Now, if this happens again, I don't know what Disney will do with her. I would say that it's about time if this does in fact happen again, if there's another movie where they need massive reshoots. Guys, I just feel like that point should be the end of the line. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. And thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon.